Welcome back to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Today's episode, powered by Perfect Sports Nutrition, is all about the best sparring drill for you to learn to defend low kicks. All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about the best sparring drill, the drill you should be practicing every single time before you spar to help you to block low kicks. Now, we learned the very simple way, right? Block, different counters, but let's get real, okay? All of those drills are good to practice the technique of the block, but what makes a low kick successful? That is the timing, right? So if I'm gonna learn to block low kicks, I have to learn how to block the timing of the low kick. And all of these other drills, they're very slow, they're very based. And what I mean by that is they're good to teach the technique, but really the concept, the real application of it is missing. And this is why I think this drill is the best for all sports. MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, this is the one you gotta be doing. So what I meant by slow drills, I'm gonna use Matt. So the slow drill means this: we're stationary, Matt throws a low kick, I block it, okay? Then he throws it again. And then as a coach, I might say, okay, now counter with your punches. I can counter with punches. I can counter with kicks, right? So you're learning the technique. I'm understanding when I'm blocking, my toes are coming out. I'm blocking on a 45-degree angle, okay? All these different subtleties that if you want to learn more, bazookatraining.com, right? You'll learn how to block properly and do all these fun things. But in order to practice that in real time, I have to understand when is my opponent throwing that low kick. The chances are, if I'm sitting here waiting like this, why would someone throw a low kick there? There's no setup, there's no nothing. So this is what I'm gonna explain to you and why I think this drill is so important. So the drill is basically, I'm going to box with Matt, right? Now, if you follow and you know what bazooka style is, right? What happens versus punches, right? Matt's gonna show it. I jab Matt, he chops my leg. I throw a cross, he goes to the body kick or a low kick, right? He switches it up. Bang, he's cracking me, right? Boom. So now that I know that's the timing, punches versus kicks, I have to be aware of that. So the drill happens this way. I'm gonna throw my punches, and at the same time, I have to be able to block Matt's kicks. And then I can still counter. So I'm touching, I'm still able to block and keep that pressure on, right? Boom. So that right away is gonna start teaching you how to fight realistically. Now, if they're not attacking your leg, right, which again, a lot of people aren't low kickers, so you might get away with it. So even if, you know, I can sit here and play, and if Matt hits my leg with a sloppy low kick, I might be okay with that. Why? Because I can counter with something strong, right? So if I am gonna take the low kick in this game, right, boom, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna jam my rear straight, try to knock him out, punches versus kick. When he's trying to kick, catch him off balance and knock him out. But the drill, the goal for everybody in martial arts is to get to the point where you can block every single low kick. Now, to block the low kick, obviously you have to understand stance and distance. So first thing you're gonna notice, and this even happens with professional fighters that I use this drill with. I actually taught my fight team this the other day, and it's been a while since we did it, and they were having trouble with it, okay? So what's happening now? We get very punch hungry. Now, you'll notice when I do the drill, if I'm boxing here with a long stance and Matt kicks, I can't block the kick. And that's how we learn to punch, right? The first thing we learn to punch is by stepping, step. Now with that lengthened stance, I can't block the kick. So when Matt kicks now, it's hard for me to bring the leg up and block, right? So this is why I teach you to chop the leg off the jab, right? I tell you every time Matt throws a jab, he steps. I'm gonna capitalize, I'm gonna chop his leg every time he steps. But now I'm asking you, not if I know the low kick's coming off the jab, how do you jab without the low kick coming and still giving you the ability to block? And that comes from just shortening your stance. So if I'm now jabbing Matt, I'm gonna jab from here, a shorter stance. I'm hesitant. When he throws, I can lift my leg up. If I'm here and he kicks, it's very hard for me to do it. So I have to stand a little taller, shorten my stance. Here, boom, right? Now I'm in an effective stance. I know he's gonna do that, but now I wanna win, I wanna knock him out, I wanna get to power. So what I'm going to do is, now part of the drill is, once you get comfortable blocking the low kick, this is when you build in the counters. So the way I would start the drill with, if you're newer to this type of concept, just start with the jab. I'm gonna jab, Matt throws the low kick, right? Boom, right? I'm playing here. This is how I'm going to start, with just my jab, boom. See how, even sometimes if I'm in a long stance, I come back and I'm ready to block again, right? I'm here, boom. Right? I can sit here and play different games with my jab and still be able to block, right? Now the next progression to it would be adding the right hand, right? So, because a lot of times when you need to land the right hand, you gotta transfer your weight to the front leg, right? Always, 1, 2, right? You transfer weight here. If all your weight's on this front leg, how do I block? I have to come back, then lift my leg up. So I have to make the adjustment by standing tall and being able to block, right? When I'm throwing this, I have a lot of my weight still on the back foot, so I can block, right? If I go heavy weight on the front foot, now I can't, it's so hard, it's too heavy, all my weight's there. To transfer, it's too slow at that point, right? So this time you'll quickly realize, boom, right? I'm throwing my punches, right, to get the low kick, right? And now I can block and keep going. Now, if you're someone who's low kicking, it is so annoying to have someone keeping straight punches on you, right? If Matt's just low kicking me and I keep this in his face like this, you know, it's very annoying, right? He can't even open up with his punches because I'm keeping these light punches in his face, hard for him to open up. And his one shot is trying to use kicks versus my punch, but I'm not allowing him because I'm blocking and I'm pressuring him. Okay? So that's where the key comes. Now, the final part of the drill would be to add counters. And the counter would be, right, I'm using this. So this is basically what you're thinking, right? I'm not trying to hurt Matt with my straight punches now. I'm trying to annoy him, trying to create things I know I need to block. So after the kick here, right, boom, this is my moment now where I can lay in the power shots. I can put in my counter. This is where I let the power go. He's in a compromised position. I blocked everything, and this is where I go off, right? So if I'm touching here, boom, I'm going bang, bang, boom, combo out, right? I can play again here, boom, bang. I might counter with my kicks, right? We have tons of different counters off of the low kick. That's a whole other video, whole other curriculum, whole other years of training. But just know that playing with the probe, assessment punches in a good stance lets you block. Now, once you block, the professional way of doing it is having set counters. Now, I always recommend at all levels of fighting and training, have set counters that you like, set counters that you believe in. Counters that when it comes time in battle that you don't have to think, right? I'll give you my 2 favorite ones. They're simple, they're basic, but they are effective. They don't have to be spectacular spin kick, axe kick, 20-hit combinations. They gotta be powerful, they gotta be effective, and they gotta be quick. That moment he's blocking, he's a little bit off balance. So I have a split second to put a few power shots together. So my favorite would be, okay, I'm probing, boom, 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 block, step down, 1, 2, boom, cross hook, low kick. Doesn't get any better than that. Now, I can throw the cross hook round kick, but guess what? I can level change, right? So my simple combination has already become more advanced. Touch, 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 block, cross to the head, hook to the body, low kick. I can even put body kick. I can go head kick, just my cross level. So there's so many ways you can change a simple combination, but I don't have to think. In the fight, boom, 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 boom. I fire right away, no thinking. That's why my counters, they're confident and they're fast, and that's why they did well in my fights, right? Counter back fast and confident. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with this drill is when you're doing this, you have to make sure you do it with control, doing it with confidence. It's a drill that takes some time to develop, right? And a lot of times it doesn't feel comfortable to be throwing these things and being natural. So slow it down, take your time. Matt and I aren't doing this with shin guards because we've been doing this for so many years together, but I recommend you wear your Hayabusa shin guards, you put them on, you make sure they're nice and sharp, and then this way you don't hurt yourself. Because doing these timing drills, a lot of times you can catch knees and hurt yourself. So if Matt's here, right, and I'm thinking I'm punching and I want to block, last minute I throw my knee, you kind of clash shins, clash knees, it's not very pleasant. So if you're someone who's not as controlled, newer to drilling and the timing, just wear your shin guards until you get better, more effective, all right? So hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember, this is just a little bit. I stopped here because if you want more information, you got to head over to bazookatraining.com. For only $9.99 a month, you get access to all the Bazooka curriculum and training, right? We have home workouts, bag workouts, tutorials, and we even added a sparring section. I just added head guard, parries, counters. That's all in there for you. I just did a whole section on talking about counters. Guess what? We have a section on sparring drills where I'm teaching you what counters are, how to counter the jab, how to block the jab. There's so much more fighting in detail that you can get at bazookatraining.com, all right? This is just the appetizer. If you want the full meal, you want the buffet, bazookatraining.com, all right? So hope you liked the episode. Perfect Sports Nutrition, link in the description below, Bazooka 20% off, bazookashop.com. You can get all that nice Bazooka swag. And finally, for the sick Hayabusa gear, Hayabusa Fight, all linked below. And just like every other video, we'll see you next time here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA, as well as bazookatraining.com.